Hey everybody, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we are showing you how to play Call of Kilforth, a Fantasy Quest game. Now this falls into the same line as Gloom of Kilforth and Shadows of Kilforth. This is the third game in that line, and all three of those games can actually be combined together. I'll be showing you specifically components from Call of Kilforth, but these rules, for the most part, are going to be relevant for all three of those games. Now, this is a game for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 plus, and is considered to take about 45 minutes per player, according to the box. Over on Board Game Geek, they recommend, or the community recommends, 1 player. It actually says the game is best at 1 player. That is with 4 people voting. The community also says ages 14 plus is correct. Again, that's with a single person voting though. And then the complexity rating is 3.0 out of 5 with 2 people voting there. Just to give a little bit more relevant information there, I think if we look at Gloom of Kilforth over on Board Game Geek, the community with 94 people voting says they recommend 1 to 2 players, but that it's best at 1. They also, with 16 people voting, say 12 and up is a good age, and the complexity is at 3.11 out of 5 with 99 people voting, so that's probably going to be pretty accurate. To begin setup, you'll first need to find the Rhyme Shore port location and place it in the center of the play area that you're going to use for the map. You'll then shuffle the rest of the locations up and randomly distribute them in a 5x5 grid around this location. When you're laying out this 5x5 grid, you'll want to make sure that you have this side face up. The other side has more muted colors and also has a red shield on it. Rhyme Shore must be in the center. You'll also want to make sure all 6 ocean locations are on the outer edge. And so, for instance, after you laid it out, here's an ocean location. We'll swap that with an inner location like this. Let's make sure all of our other ocean locations are, here's an ocean location. Swap that. Here's one. Swap that. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ocean locations on the outer edge. Throughout this video, I'll talk about the player as if they're playing a single hero, but of course, if you're playing cooperatively or solo, you can play as multiple heroes. The first thing the player will need to do is select the race that their hero is going to be. They can select or they can randomly choose what hero they're going to be. So in this case, the Latent Kiner. We'll place that race card in their play area. Next, the player needs to choose what class type they're going to be, or again, randomly choose. So in this case, a pirate. Now with your class, it is strongly recommended that this skill type only be used by 1 hero per game. So in this case, the pirate skill type is rebel. You wouldn't want to also bring in the cattle merchant because they also are a rebel. Again, you can do this if you want to, however, it's strongly recommended to only have a single instance of a skill type per game. Next, each player will take a 3-card saga set. So for instance, if you're going with Overthrow Despot, you would have Chapter 1 and 2, Chapter 3 and 4, and then your finale. Each player now takes a 3-card saga set. Here's the deck of saga cards. And so, for instance, if we were going to go with the Ascension Saga, you have Ascension Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, and then the finale right here. The rules do provide some recommendations for your class and saga for your very first game. So if you're interested in that, the Pirate, the Privateer, the Raconteur, and the Magic User are the classes that are recommended, and then each one has a saga that's recommended along with it. It's found on page 4 of the rulebook. Each hero class has a skill deck. So remember, the Pirate skill type is Rebel, so this is the Rebel skill deck. all of the cards in this deck should be placed next to the map, along with any other skill decks for any other heroes. Shuffle the knight deck and place it face down next to the map. If you want a more difficult game, you can flip the first 3 knight cards, ignore everything on the card except for the location in the bottom left corner, in this case Soaring Peaks, and flip that location to the knight side. And so then we would do Diablo's Locker right here and Clear Lagoon. However, for our purposes, we're going to set this up as a regular difficulty game. And so everything will start face up. Take the Forest, Mountain, Ocean, and Plains encounter decks and place them next to the map. Take the Item, Title, Spell, and Ally reward decks and place them on the other side of the map. All 8 of those decks should be shuffled. Each hero places their standee or mini, depending on what version of the game you have, on Rimshore Port. So I'm the pirate. There is my pirate mini. So they will go right there. Each hero chooses 1 reward deck and draws 2 cards from it. So in this case, we'll draw 2 allies. They look at them, they choose which ally they're going to keep, and I mean, I'm a pirate, so I've got to keep the pet parrot. This goes into the player's hand and may be kept secret from other players. Any card in a player's hand is called a rumor. The other card is shuffled back into the deck. Next, we place 1 food token on each ocean, 1 wood token on each forest, 1 stone token on each plains, and 1 metal token on each mountain. Place the loot tokens in a loot bag. Place all of the other tokens near the play area. Each hero takes 4 health points, 4 fate tokens, 1 gold, 3 enemy tokens in the color of their choice, 1 choose sides token, flip to either the skull or the drake, and 4 action points. In a competitive game, shuffle the ancients and choose a single ancient. This will be placed face up next to the map. If you're playing a cooperative game, then you will actually draw 1 ancient per hero. Find all the plot cards that match the ancient that you're currently using. Shuffle those plot cards and place them face down next to their ancient. If you have multiple ancients, then you will have multiple decks of plot cards. It is recommended by the rulebook that for your first game, you do not use ancient abilities or plots. The hero with the highest sneak value will receive the first hero token. If there's a tie, then it's decided randomly. And now you're ready to begin the game. Now let's take a closer look at the various cards that you're going to be encountering during the game. Each hero hails from one of 8 different races: Centaur, Goblinkind, Human, Latenkiner, as you see here, Lizardfolk, Merfolk, Paylorn, or Sylph. A hero may be played on either side, male or female. Their stats are identical. Each race bestows a set of different values in 4 core attributes: fight, study, sneak, and influence. These will be used when tackling different types of encounters. The hero's maximum HP is found here. Any keywords are found here, in this case human. Their ability is found here. There's some flavor text beneath that. And here's the hero's starting gold value. A hero's class is their occupation, in this case pirate. The attribute bonuses are found here. These are added or subtracted from their core attributes. So in this case, your late encounter would actually have 2 fight value and 3 sneak value. Keywords and skill type are found right here. The skill type defines which skills a hero may learn when they complete a saga chapter card, and then their ability is found here. There's also some flavor text beneath it. Skills represent the abilities that a hero can gain while adventuring in Kilforth. Skills come in 4 types: Arcane, Martial, Shadow, and Rebel, as you see here. The skill's name is here. The keyword and skill type is here. The level is here. And its ability is described here. A saga is the epic story of adventures that a hero undertakes. To win the game, a hero must first complete their saga. Each hero receives a 3 saga card set at the beginning of the game, consisting of Chapter 1 with Chapter 2 on the back, Chapter 3 with Chapter 4 on the back, and then a finale with a totem on the back. The name of the saga is found here. Keywords are found on the various chapters at the bottom here. These keywords must be gathered by this hero to defeat this card. If a keyword is preceded by the 1 to 2 hero icon right there, then that only applies if that many heroes are currently in the game. In other words, 1 to 2 heroes will need 3 keywords, but 3 to 4 heroes will only need 2. On the finale, you'll find an attribute value here. This is the attribute the hero must test in order to defeat this card. You'll also find a location on the finale. This is where the hero must be in order to defeat the card. On the totem, you will find an attribute bonus right here. Once the totem is gained, this is added to the hero's attribute. There's also an ability, which provides a special effect, and the gold value of the totem. Encounters represent the dangers faced by a hero when moving to or searching a location. Heroes collect defeated encounters into their hand as rumors, which aid them in completing their saga. Encounters occur in the forest, mountains, oceans, and plains. You have the name of the encounter here. The type of the encounter here: this one is an enemy. It could also be a place, a quest, a stranger, or an event. You have the terrain type here, in this case ocean. You have keywords here, in this case enemy, aquatic, and ocean. The ability is found here. The gold value is found here. The fight value of the encounter is here. If there were a study value, it would be here. This one has a sneak value. And if there were a influence value, it would be beneath the sneak value. This is the reward icon, which shows you your reward for defeating this encounter. It could be an ally, an item, as this one is, a spell, or a title. And here is the health points of this encounter. Rewards come in 4 types: items, titles, spells, and allies, as you see here. Each reward can boost a hero's attributes and or provide bonus actions and other abilities to help the hero in their adventure. Usually rewards are earned in 2 stages. First, rewards are earned by heroes when encounters are defeated. They go into the hero's hand as rumors to be discovered. The hero then discovers the reward by going to its listed location. So if the Beastmaster were in your hand, you need to go to Tirmor's Chalice to discover it. Once at the location, you need to play a Discover action to put it into play. Occasionally, however, rewards can be put directly into play, such as by using the Market action or as trophies from defeating certain encounters. The name of the reward is here. The reward type is here, in this case ally, and as we said before, the other possibilities are item, title, and spell. The location, as I mentioned, is here, where the hero will need to be in order to put this card into play. The gold value is here. Keywords are here. As you can see, this one has an asterisk next to Martial. The asterisk denotes a unique keyword, indicating that the hero can only have 1 asset with this keyword in play at any time. The rewards abilities are found here. Attribute bonuses found here. And on a spell, if you see a lock attribute like that, that indicates that is the minimum value the hero must have in study in order to use that spell. Night cards represent the growing danger to Kilforth. At the end of each day, a drawn night card indicates which location will descend into Gloom, as well as resolving an effect which usually spells trouble for the heroes. The name of the night card is here. The location indicates which location will fall into Gloom when the card is drawn. The type is found here, which can be event, as this one is, weather, or encounter. And the effect is found here. Ancients represent great beings that the heroes must track down and defeat in battle to win the game. The name of the ancient is found here. The fight value is found here. The health points are found here. The location where the ancient will come into play is here, and the gold value is here. Each ancient also has a matching ancient ability card which details its abilities and effects which take place each night phase. Plot cards are placed by ancients when locations fall into Gloom and are similar to encounter cards, but they have different requirements to defeat before they can be claimed as rumors. If left unresolved, they will make the ancients more powerful. The name of the plot card is here. The ancient that it belongs to is here. Keywords are here, in this case, enemy and undead. This shows you how you need to defeat this card. This shows the location type where this plot appears. This ancient ability is added to the ancient if the plot is not defeated. This loot is earned when the hero defeats the card. And this HP is a visual reminder of the bonus to the ancient. Time runs out and the game ends once the last night card is drawn and resolved. In the competitive game, the hero that defeats the ancient before time runs out wins the game. If no hero achieves this by the time the time runs out, then the hero with the most victory points wins. As a reminder, in a cooperative game, there is one ancient per hero. And so in the cooperative game and solo games, the game is won if all the ancients are defeated before time runs out. The game is still considered a win even if the last surviving hero dies in that battle, as long as all the ancients are defeated too. All heroes, both survivors and defeated, will share in the win. However, if at least one ancient survives, then the game is lost. In either game mode, a hero cannot battle an ancient unless they first complete their saga. Once this hero has completed their saga and received their totem, then they are allowed to battle the ancient. A chapter is completed by earning cards that have keywords that match those on the chapter card. So in this case, ocean, forest, and in a 1 to 2 player game, mountain. Keywords are earned by defeating encounters, enemies, quests, places, strangers. Finding and defeating these encounters drives the game toward completing your saga, which in turn allows you to battle the ancient. Each hero's victory point score is the sum of their gold plus the gold value of their cards. To be clear, this has to be their cards in play, not their rumors. In a cooperative game, this is calculated slightly differently. The victory point score is the sum of each hero's victory points divided by the number of heroes who started the game rounded up, essentially the average amongst the heroes. Call of Kilforth is played over a number of days. Each day consists of 2 phases. First, the daylight phase, in which heroes will take their turns. They'll perform actions, engagements, and deeds. And then the night phase, in which a location will fall into Gloom, and a night effect will resolve, and heroes will prepare for the next day. The first thing that occurs during the daylight phase is breaking camp. Each hero will take a number of action points equal to their health. Since each hero begins the game with 4 health, their first turn they will always have 4 action points. Next, heroes will take turns to play 1 action in clockwise order, starting with the first hero. Each turn, a hero either performs 1 action or makes camp. Then, play will pass to the next hero, who also will perform 1 action or make camp, and this will continue until all heroes have made camp. Once a hero makes camp, they will receive no more turns that day. Once all heroes have made camp, night phase begins. And to be clear, making camp is just a thematic way of saying you're done. You're passing, you're finished doing anything during this phase. At the beginning of a hero's turn, if there are enemies at their location, they must engage them in the order of their choice. An enemy could be a stranger that the hero has placed an enemy token on, like this, or it could be a card that actually says enemy. An engagement does not cost action points, and they're mandatory for any hero in a location with an enemy. So in this case, our pirate's going to engage the Tri-Horned Beast. An engagement is an attempt by the hero to defeat the foe. Defeating an encounter through an engagement is different from defeating other encounter types, which are usually defeated through the confront action. An engagement is made up of 3 stages: determined surprise, evasion opportunity, and then battle. In stage 1, determined surprise, you will determine if the combatants start with surprise. If the enemy was just drawn from the encounter deck this turn, it has surprise, unless the hero is hidden. We'll discuss hidden heroes in a little bit. Now, a hidden hero at a location with the enemy must either surprise attack, which means they will lose their hidden status, and then they'll gain surprise, or a hidden enemy can evade. They remain hidden and try to evade the enemy. The advantage of surprise attacking enemy is you gain 1 additional die during the first round of battle. And to be clear, if the foe is actually a stranger that your hero just put their enemy token on this round, no one gains surprise. You'll skip stage 1 of the engagement. So stage 2 of the engagement is the evasion opportunity. Again, to evade, you have to be hidden. And then you may perform a sneak test against the foe to try to evade it. You can see the Tri-Horned Beast has a sneak value of 3. Our Latent Kiner Pirate has a total sneak value of 3 as well. The hero's sneak value indicates the number of dice they'll roll. The enemy's sneak value indicates the number of successes the hero must roll. So in this case, all 3 dice will have to be successes, meaning each of them will have to have a 5 or a 6. If the sneak test succeeds, the foe is successfully evaded and it remains at the location. The rest of the engagement is skipped and the hero continues the game as if the foe didn't exist until the day ends or the hero leaves this location, whichever happens first. However, if the sneak test failed, the hero stumbles and is no longer hidden, and the foe now gains surprise. An optional variant to play with is if the hero's sneak value is higher than the foe's. So in other words, if my Latent Kiner Pirate somehow had gained an additional 1 sneak and now had 4 sneak, then the evasion test can be considered automatically passed. Now, let's assume that by whatever means, you now are at stage 3, battle. If the foe has any trap abilities, which this one does not, if the foe has any trap abilities, which this one does, you can see trap, lose 1 loot. It triggers now. Next, place HP on your enemy, equal to their health, which again is found right here. During this stage, you will commence a series of battle rounds. These will continue until the hero is defeated, the hero escapes, or the enemy is defeated. Each battle round will consist of skirmish, foe defeated check, hero defeated check, and escape option. During that first step, skirmish, the hero and the foe each separately resolve a fight test. So our pirate, assuming they don't have surprise, would roll 2 dice, while the Tri-Horned Beast, again assuming they don't have surprise, would roll 4. For each success that the hero has, the enemy loses 1 health. For each success that the enemy has, the hero loses 1 health. However, the hero also loses 1 action point for each success. Once both fight tests are finished and all lost HP are removed from the hero and foe simultaneously, then we'll move to step 2, the foe defeated check. Also keep in mind, if either the hero or the foe had surprise, it's only for that first round. After that, they'll be back down to their normal number of dice. So in step 2, foe defeated check, if the foe has no health points left, it is defeated and the hero gains the reward. Also keep in mind that if the foe is defeated outside of battle through some card ability, the hero will still gain this reward. Assuming that the enemy is not defeated, you then check to see if the hero is defeated. If the hero has no health points, they are defeated, and then a number of consequences must apply. We'll come back to those consequences in just a moment. The 4th step, which of course only occurs if both the enemy and the hero are still alive, because that's the only way you would have gotten to this step, is the escape option. Assuming that the foe is not an ancient, the hero may choose to escape. If so, they make camp and end their turn immediately. The hero standee is placed on the nearest enemy-free location of their choice. Shortcuts cannot be used in this case. And after the battle ends, if the foe is non-ancient and not defeated, it is restored to full health. So let's go back to the hero defeated check. Assuming that the hero lost all of their health as a result of this battle, and they're defeated, the following consequences apply. They make camp and end their turn immediately. They return all of their gold to the supply. They either sacrifice an asset or discard a rumor. Their hero returns to Rhymeshore Port. They cannot be affected by abilities or card effects until they are revived. And they will be revived in the night phase at dawn, at which point each defeated hero regains 2 health points and is no longer considered defeated. Also, if a hero ever has no health points after losing their last HP by some other means, such as gloom or weather, they are still considered defeated and they follow the exact same consequences. Once all engagements are resolved, if the hero has not yet made camp, for instance as a result of an escape or defeat from an engagement, then they must either perform an action if they have any action points remaining, or they must make camp. If they make camp, they'll discard any remaining action points and take no further turns. If they perform an action, then after that action completes, they will have to engage all enemies at their location once again. A hero will also have the option of performing as many free actions, also known as deeds, as desired at any point within their turn. We'll take a closer look at actions and deeds in a moment, but before we do, I should also mention that the first hero to make camp will receive the first hero token. There are quite a few possible actions a hero can take, and you do have this guide that each player can review to help keep each of these in mind. We have hide, move, search, confront, discover, gather, clear, rest, market, and regale. Each action costs 1 action point, and each action can only be taken if any restriction listed for the action is met and the action is fully resolved. Heroes can't spend action points just to spend them. They must actually perform an action. The first action we'll look at is move. When you move, you can move to an orthogonally adjacent location. So not diagonal, but orthogonal. So in this case, from here, they can move to Mountain Malum, Elon Refuge, Angel's Cradle, and Haven Woods. A hero may never move off the map. First, check to see if there are any effects described on the location moved into. For instance, moving into Haven Woods says heroes gain 1 action point when they move into this location for the first time on any day. So, when the hero moves here, after having spent an action point to move there, they would then gain an action point if it's the first time this day that they've moved there. If the hero's new location does not already have an encounter on it, then draw 1 from the encounter deck. Place it face up over the location so that that location's name is still visible on either side. At this point, if the hero's location contains an enemy, they must immediately engage that enemy, as we've previously discussed. Also keep in mind that the encounter that you draw must come from the same encounter deck as the terrain type of the location you've moved into. It also should be noted that Rhymeshore Port does not have an encounter deck, and so it won't have an encounter assigned to it in this way. Now you'll see this encounter is an event. These are resolved immediately, usually by the active hero, and then discarded. Heroes cannot team up to tackle event encounters. So in the case of Divine Games, the hero would get to choose an option. Spectate, which would lose 2 action points to enjoy the show. Rig the results to lose 1 loot and then gain 3 gold. Participate to pass a Fight 4 test to gain 1 item or otherwise lose 2 health points. Now let's discuss the action Clear. The restriction for this action is the hero must be at a location with 1 or more obstacles, or if there are no obstacles, the location must have 1 or more plot cards. If the location had a plot card and an obstacle, then the obstacle would be removed first before the plot could be removed. Also keep in mind, each plot card will have 2 defeat instructions on it, and so you'll have to follow those instructions. Either way, once you have taken the clear action successfully, you will then draw 1 random loot token from the bag. Either way, once you have taken the clear action successfully, you will then draw 1 loot token from the bag. The search action simply lets the hero draw another encounter card from the location they're at if it does not currently have an encounter card. The gather action has a restriction that the hero must be at a location with 1 or more resources and no obstacles. When the hero takes the gather action, they gain 1 resource of their choice from that location. Resources are collected to pay for the construction of hero outpost cards, which we'll discuss in a little bit. They also, though, can be discarded at any time for the following abilities. Wood can be discarded to fix a ship, or remove 1 obstacle from the hero's location. A hero can discard food to heal 1 health point. A hero can discard 1 stone to gain 1 gold. A hero can discard 1 metal to gain 1 power token. The hide action has the restriction that the hero must not already be hidden. When taking the hide action, the hero is now considered hidden. You lie your hero standing down on its side to show that it's hidden. A hero can choose to no longer be hidden at any point in the game, during their turn or not, by simply standing their hero back up. Benefits of being hidden include avoiding the negative effects of certain night cards, negating the element of surprise an enemy might have when it engages you, gaining the element of surprise when you engage an enemy, and evading an enemy instead of battling it. But hidden heroes cannot perform deeds, and hidden heroes cannot confront strangers. Also, at the end of the night phase, heroes automatically stop being hidden and lose their hidden tokens. The confront action has the restriction that the hero is at a location with no obstacles and that it has 1 or more encounters of either quest, stranger, or place. One of the main things a hero's adventure revolves around is seeking out encounters and overcoming them to gain keywords and rewards. The confront action is how you do that. Each encounter has 1 or more attributes. As you can see here, this one has 2, both study and sneak. To defeat the encounter, the hero chooses 1 of the eligible attributes and performs a test against it. In this case, our Latent Kinder Pirate has 3 sneak and 3 study, so either one might be viable for them to choose. If they gain as many successes as the attribute's value, then they pass. In this case, we did not. We gained 0 successes, and so we did not defeat the encounter. As a reminder, enemy encounters do not require the confront action as they are automatically engaged without spending an action point. So because confront is so important, let's take a little bit of a closer look at it. So, as we said, first the hero will choose one of these values. Let's say we choose sneak. Let's say that we rolled our dice and we only got, let's say we rolled our dice and we got a single success with that 5. The hero should make note of how many successes they have, maybe by placing one of these standee tokens here. Basically, you can use any sort of token, but keep track of the number of successes. And then on a future turn, the hero can perform another confront action and add their new successes to the ones they've already gained. Once they have accumulated the total successes they need, in this case 2, then they would have passed. However, a hero will lose all of their accumulated successes if they leave the location or if they make camp. It should also be noted that when accumulating successes, the hero must keep using the same skill that they began with. Now, something additional to note is that the lively thicket here actually has this linked symbol here, these plus signs, and what this means is that you don't need just 2 sneak or just 2 study, you actually need 2 of each. You must accumulate the total successes in both of these attributes. However, you can do it in whatever order you please. Strangers have a few special rules that do not apply to other encounter types. Heroes can never confront a stranger while hidden. Heroes can only test their influence attribute even if the stranger has other attributes. So you must use influence down here, not sneak or fight. As long as a hero gains at least 1 success on their first confront test with a stranger, as long as a hero gains at least 1 success on their confront roll with the stranger, which you can see we did here, negotiations will proceed smoothly. However, if the hero ever has 0 total successes after their first confront test, the stranger becomes an enemy to that hero, and they must place an enemy token on them. Keep in mind, this is only after the first confront test. The hero can choose to intentionally make the stranger an enemy instead of rolling as their confront action. While a hero's enemy token is on the stranger, it counts as an enemy instead of a stranger for that specific hero, but not for other heroes. And that is for the rest of the game. This means the hero engages them immediately. For this first engagement, neither side can have surprise. If a hero later returns to this enemy stranger, they may try to evade them like any other enemy, which is the only time they will use the stranger's sneak value. Each time a hero defeats an encounter, they perform the following 2 reward steps in order. First, the loot step, then the rumor step. In the loot step, the hero may either gain gold equal to the gold value, so in this case 1 of the defeated encounter card, or they may draw a random loot token from the loot bag. Now, if the encounter card that is defeated is a stranger and it has the enemy token on it, they must choose option A to gain gold equal to the gold value shown here. After the loot step, they then enter the rumor step, where they have 2 choices as well. They can take the defeated encounter card into their hand as a rumor, or they can take the indicated reward card from the top of the reward deck, in this case an ally, and add it to their hand as a rumor instead. Now, once again, if the stranger that has been defeated is in fact an enemy, the hero must choose to take the stranger into their hand as a rumor. Some cards, such as the Punish Thieves quest card, has a trophy feature here. The hero now has the option of receiving or performing any trophy benefits listed on the defeated encounter card. Some trophies will say forced, in which case the hero must perform the trophy. Anytime a loot token is gained, it represents a deed that the hero can perform. Remember, deeds are free actions, and so essentially this token can be discarded at any time for the listed benefit. When a token is discarded, you will place it to the side. If the loot bag is ever empty, you take all of the discarded loot tokens and place them back in the bag. The rest action has the restriction that a hero must be at a location with no encounters and they have fewer health points than their maximum health. When resting, the hero gains 1 health point, but they do not gain an action point. A hero could also take a long rest rather than just a rest. To take a long rest, the hero must be at a location with no encounters. They must have fewer health points than their maximum, and this must be their first and only action for the day. The hero would discard all remaining action points and then restore their health points to maximum. Again, they don't regain any action points. The Discover action allows the hero to take a reward card from their hand that is currently a rumor, as long as they are on the correct location, Azure Reef, and place it in their play area as a usable asset. Important to remember that while rewards, plots, and encounter cards in the hero's hand are all rumors, only rewards can become assets. Also remember that when you play an asset that has the asterisk next to a keyword, that means that you can only have one of that keyword in play at a time. Each hero also has a maximum of 6 assets they can have in play at a time. They can also have a maximum of 6 loot tokens and a maximum of 6 rumors in hand. If they ever have more, then after resolving the process that led to that situation, they must discard down to 6. The Market action has the restriction that the hero must be at Rhymeshore Port. When taking the Market action, the hero has multiple options that may be performed once, and they may be performed in the order of the hero's choosing. At least one of these must be performed when taking the Market action. There are 4 options available to the hero. The first option is to heal. The active hero can purchase health points for any hero at this location at a cost of 1 per health point, as long as the hero they're purchasing it for has fewer than their maximum currently. A hero may purchase by drawing the top 3 cards from any rewards deck. The hero must purchase one and only one of these cards by paying the card's gold value in the bottom right. They then add that card directly into their play area as an asset, and then discard the unpurchased cards. They may sell cards, meaning they can discard rumors from their hand or sacrifice assets from their play area. Each discarded or sacrificed card earns the hero gold equal to half that card's gold value rounded down. So in this case, the Blue Drake Galley would earn 2 gold. The Outlander would actually earn 0. And the final option is to purchase any one resource for 2 gold. Keep in mind, there must be one of these resources available in order to purchase it. The Regale action has the restriction that a hero has not already completed a saga chapter or finale this day. The Regale action allows a hero to complete a saga chapter or attempt to complete a saga interlude or finale. Chapters can be regaled at any location, but to regale a finale or interlude, the hero must be at the location specified on that card. So for instance, with the Ascension finale, you must be at Saltwater Straits. To complete their current saga chapter, a hero must spend 5 gold, and for each keyword found on the chapter card, they either must discard 1 rumor, so maybe they have this ally as a rumor in their hand, and they need ally here, so they discard it, or select an asset that hasn't yet been selected during this action. So we also need title and weapon, and this is a title, as you see there. This is a weapon, as you see there. And they can now choose to either keep the asset or sacrifice it and gain the gold equal to its gold value. As a reminder, this symbol means that that keyword is only required in a 1 to 2 hero game. Anytime a saga chapter is completed, the hero's maximum HP is increased by 1. And so with this being chapter 4, the hero now has a maximum HP of 8. When this increase occurs, the hero does take a health point token from the supply automatically. The hero then gains a skill of the chapter's level. So chapter 4, you get a level 4 skill. And again, it must be of their class's skill type. And then replace the completed chapter with the next higher numbered chapter of the hero's saga. Or if chapter 4 was just completed, replace it with the finale. Now, there is one other piece of this that needs to be noted for a competitive game. If a hero completes Chapter 3, and there are any other heroes that have not yet completed Chapter 1, then immediately those heroes complete their current chapter without spending any action points, gold, or keywords. When a hero completes Chapter 4, Any other hero who has not yet completed Chapter 2 immediately completes their current chapter. Again, without spending any action points, gold, or keywords. To complete a finale, the hero must be at the listed location, Saltwater Straits in this case. They will use the Regale action just like before. Unlike Saga chapters, finales do not cost 5 gold to complete. Also, heroes can attempt to regale their finale multiple times per day, though not during the same day that they completed Chapter 4. Similar to the Confront action with a normal encounter, a hero will attempt to complete their saga finale by performing the test shown here. After the test is performed, add the successes gained to any successes from previous tests against this finale. If the hero's total successes equal or exceed the finale's attribute value, the finale is defeated. As with encounters, successes gained against the finale are lost during the night phase or if the hero leaves the finale's location for any reason. When the saga finale is completed, the hero saga is complete. Turn the finale card over, and the hero now has access to the totem side. The hero can put the totem into play immediately as an asset, or they can remove the totem from the game and gain the gold shown here. The first time a saga finale is completed in the game, the Ancient, in this case the Count of Torment, will arrive at the indicated location, the Aberrant Wilds. Take the Ancient's standee and place it in that location. If this were a cooperative game, all of the Ancients would show up. It's now possible for heroes who have completed their finales to try to assault the Ancient and win the game. In the cooperative game, all heroes must complete their saga finales before any hero can assault an Ancient. You might have noticed that this Chapter 3 looks a little different, and it is known as an interlude. Instead of saga chapters, some sagas will have these interludes. This is sort of a cross between a finale and a saga chapter. They function similar to finales and require multiple successes to defeat, and they can be attempted multiple times per day. But again, not the same day that the hero completed another saga chapter. They also must be attempted at the indicated location, in this case, Angel's Cradle. When a hero defeats an interlude, they must immediately spend 5 gold. They'll gain 1 maximum and current health point. They'll gain the appropriate level skill, and then move on to the next saga chapter. Deeds are effectively free actions. A hero may perform a deed at any time during their turn, including during an action, an engagement, or another deed. Possible deeds are Resolve, Overcome, Assault, Exchange, and Team Up. The Assault deed has the restriction that the hero must have completed their saga finale and be at the Ancient's location. That location must have no other encounters. In a cooperative game, all heroes must have completed their saga finales before any hero can attempt this assault. At this point, the hero and the Ancient perform an engagement, as we've previously discussed. If the Ancient is defeated, the game ends immediately in a win. There are a few differences between this engagement and normal engagements. For instance, it's not mandatory. A hero can be on this location without assaulting the Ancient. As soon as the Ancient is assaulted, any unresolved plots for that Ancient are removed from the map and added to the Ancient. The Ancient will gain the abilities listed on these plots, and there's now no way to defeat the plots. Neither surprise nor evasion exist when battling an Ancient, so you can skip stages 1 and 2 of the engagement. If a hero is defeated when fighting an Ancient, that hero is completely eliminated from the game. A hero cannot escape or leave the battle by any means once they've engaged the Ancient. However, all HP loss inflicted to the Ancient remains after the battle, even if the hero is defeated. Though, it should be noted that some Ancient abilities will heal the Ancient during the night. The Exchange deed allows the hero to perform any number of agreed exchanges with any number of heroes at their location. An exchange can be a one-way donation in either direction. An exchange can only be undertaken using the following: gold, loot tokens, rumors, item assets, spell assets, or resources. Rumors are always transferred in such a way as to remain rumors. Assets are always transferred, remaining assets. However, allies and titles cannot be traded. The Overcome deed allows the hero to automatically overcome certain encounters. If the hero is at the same location as an encounter that has the weakness trait, so here you can see weakness rank, and the hero has one or more of the specified keywords, so if our hero had the Basilit Chieftain title, you can see it has the keyword rank right there. They may perform the deed Overcome to automatically defeat the encounter as though they had used whichever attribute was most beneficial. The hero will then claim the reward as normal. The Resolve deed allows the hero to resolve a deed ability on a card or token, currently in the hero's play area. So for instance, the Blue Drake Galley has the deed Your Foe Loses 1 HP. In this case, it also indicates Veil. This means that by using this deed, the card becomes veiled and turns 90 degrees to the side. Its deed can no longer be resolved until it is unveiled during the next night phase. Veiled cards do not contribute any bonuses or penalties to attributes or tests. The Team deed allows the hero to form a team with any number of agreeable heroes who are at the hero's location. This allows them to cooperate to attempt to defeat an encounter, resolve an engagement, assault an ancient, or complete a finale. Remember though, heroes cannot team to resolve an event encounter. Heroes are actually allowed to join a team even if they have already made camp this phase. However, no team member can be hidden. That is not allowed. They would have to come out of hiding first. Each hero in a team may call on fate during a test performed by the active hero, following the normal fate rules of once per day per hero. When a hero performs a test that is not an engagement, total the values and bonuses in the tested attribute for that hero, and add 1 to the total for each other hero in the team, and use that total in the test. So for instance, our Latent Kiner Pirate has 4 influence. Regardless of the amount of influence this hero has, even if it's 0, by teaming up, our Latent Kiner Pirate would use it as if they had 5 influence. During a team engagement, you will skip Determined Surprise and Evasion Opportunity, the first 2 stages of the engagement. In the battle stage, the steps will be resolved as follows. Step 1 is Skirmish. Each team hero resolves this step simultaneously, meaning they each will make a fight test against the enemy. And the enemy will then perform a fight test against each hero. Rewards, if the foe is defeated, will be resolved by the active hero only. If the foe is not defeated, then you'll check to see if any hero is defeated. This will be resolved first by the active hero and then each other hero in clockwise order. And then step 4, Escape, is also skipped. When rewards are claimed, the active hero decides how they are split up amongst the team. No previous agreements are binding. The team then automatically disbands whenever one of the following happens. They complete the active hero's engagement, they complete the active hero's non-engagement test, or they complete the current turn. Once all heroes have decided to camp, players enter the night phase. The night phase consists of 3 steps: Gloom, Darkness, and Dawn. In step 1, the Gloom step, each hero at a Gloom location loses 1 health point. Step 2, Darkness, has the first hero draw a night card from the deck. You then check to see which location Gloom will spread, in this case, Cinder Dome, and so Cinder Dome flips over. And then the night card's effect is resolved, and this can be different depending on if it is weather, enemy, or an event. In this case, it's weather. If there is another weather card already in play, it is discarded. This new weather card is placed into play beside the map, and its effects will apply until a new weather card is drawn. So in this case, first you'll resolve the revealed step here, but then for map, when breaking camp ends, all heroes relocate to either a location with a plot or an adjacent location, their choice. If it were an event, resolve its effect and then discard the card. Sometimes events will offer a choice, in which case the first hero chooses. If it is an enemy, place, quest, or stranger, place this encounter card in play in the location named on the card, in this case, the Unbroken Dunes. And the final part of the darkness step is plot. When a particular location falls into gloom, in the case of the Count of Torment, when a plains location falls into gloom, the Ancient will bring a plot card into play onto that location. This will happen after the night card is fully resolved. An easy way to remember that this needs to occur is during setup, you could deal a plot card face down under the appropriate locations so that you remember when this location flips into gloom, that plot card activates. And then finally, step 3, Dawn. First, each hero will discard any successes that they had out on the map on an encounter. Any hero that was hidden will now become unhidden. Each defeated hero will gain 2 HP, and they are no longer considered defeated. And any card or skill that is veiled will become unveiled. Now, we've mentioned tests numerous times. Let's just go through the test process in detail very quickly. First, the tester will need to determine how many dice to roll. In this case, they're testing fight, and so they will only roll 2 dice based solely off of these abilities. Of course, they may have assets that provide them additional fight. Remember, though, that veiled cards do not directly contribute any bonuses or penalties to tests. If this were a situation where the tester had surprise, which only occurs during battles, you would add 1 additional die. You then roll the dice. 5s and 6s count as successes. If the testing hero has any reroll or die manipulation abilities, they can perform them at this time. Once per day, a testing hero may add 1 automatic success by discarding a fate. They could do the same by discarding a rumor. That's how a test is performed. Finally, let's dig into the advanced rules that are introduced in Call of Kilforth. Players may not want to use these until they're a little more familiar with the system, but for veteran heroes, these are new rules not found in Gloom of Kilforth or Shadows of Kilforth. In Call of Kilforth, heroes can each take control of a magnificent galleon to explore the beautiful but deadly coasts and islands of Kilforth. Each galleon has a small but fiercely loyal crew who help swab the decks, gather resources, build outposts, manage the ship, and fire the guns. During setup, there are a few extra steps. You will deal each hero a galleon card, galleon side face up. The reverse side is the damaged wreck, so we don't want that to begin with. Galleons do not count towards your 6-card asset limit. Set aside the 4 skill-sized outpost cards. Heroes will have the chance to try to build them using their level 1 skill of the same name. So, for instance, for the Rebel, you have the Black Keep here, and with this skill card, they could build it. Each hero takes a Fated Doubloon token, red side up, and then randomly deal ship tokens to every non-city location with this ship side face up. There are a total of 6 ships from each faction, and each ship faction has a rival faction. The Sea Dogs rival the Blue Drakes, and vice versa, and the Doomguard rivals the Rosen Knights, and vice versa. A ship in the same location as a hero is one of the following. The ship is friendly if the hero is the same faction as the ship in their location. In that case, they may trade by spending 1 action point and 1 gold to perform the market action. If the hero and the ship belong to rival factions, then it is considered a rival. If a rival ship is in the hero's location when the hero makes camp, it damages the hero's galleon. Flip their galleon to the wrecked side. If a ship is neither friendly nor rival, it is neutral. Heroes can ignore neutral ships or attack them. If you're playing with just the base game of Call of Kilforth, both Rosen Knights and Doomguard will always be neutral. If you add in elements from Shadows of Kilforth, then you may end up with these ships being either rivals or friendly. Now let's discuss galleons a little bit more. On the non-reg side, you have the name of the galleon, you have the galleon's power. This is the ability level of the crew and the power of the galleon's guns used to attack ship tokens. You have the max number of power tokens the ship can hold. You have the Galleon's abilities. And then on this side, you have the Galleon's wrecked abilities. When a Galleon is damaged, as instructed on the Galleon card, the hero loses 1 HP. They discard any power tokens they have, and they flip their Galleon to the wreck side. The hero will want to repair a damaged Galleon as soon as possible using either the new parts deed, which we'll discuss in a moment, or the repair action noted on the wreck side of the card here. The hero will want to repair a damaged Galleon as soon as possible using either the deed, new parts, or the action, repair, both of which are on this side of the card. If a hero fails to repair their Galleon the next time it is damaged, the hero is defeated. There are 2 new actions with Galleons, load cannons, and repair. The repair action has the restriction that the Galleon is damaged. By taking this action, you simply flip the hero's wreck card back to its Galleon side. The action load cannons allows you to add 1 power to your Galleon. Remember, you may have up to a maximum of 3 total extra power. It should be noted that the load cannons action can be performed multiple times per day, since, looking here, you can see it does not veil your ship. There are 4 new deeds that come with the Galleons: new parts, sail, sink ship, and endeavor. The new parts deed allows the hero to repair their ship by discarding 1 wood. They will simply flip their ship from the wreck side back to the Galleon side. A Galleon can be veiled to use the sail action. The sail action provides the hero with 1 move action point. In other words, an action point that can only be spent on the move action. A Galleon can also be veiled to take the sink ship deed. This allows heroes to instruct their crew to unload their cannons and attack rival, neutral, or even friendly ships using the sink ship deed on their Galleon card. Each ship token has a power number found there. After veiling their Galleon card, the hero will add their power tokens to the Galleon's power, again found there, to determine their total Galleon power, which is a maximum of 5, since 3 power tokens is the maximum you can have on your Galleon. If the total power is equal to or less than the power of the ship at this Galleon's location, then it is sunk. Any power tokens on the Galleon are discarded. The sunken ship is flipped, and the hero claims that reward. In this case, take 1 medal from the map or supply. Finally, remove the sunken ship from the game. If the ship reward is a resource, as we saw with that ship, that resource is taken from anywhere on the map first, and then if there's no resources of that type on the map, it's taken from the supply instead. The Fated Doubloon tokens allow for diceless gameplay. This is where the Endeavor deed comes in. To take the Endeavor deed, there is a restriction that the hero must be making a test, and the hero may be hidden. When you take this deed, reduce the number of dice that would be rolled by 3 to gain 1 automatic success. You will repeat this until there are no dice left to roll, or if there are 1 or 2 dice left, reduce the remaining dice to 0, and then flip the Fated Doubloon token over. If the Fated Doubloon is green when it's flipped, you add an additional success to your test. If it's red when you flip it over, nothing extra happens. And that's everything you need to know to play Call of Kilforth. Now, be sure to check out on page 22 of the rulebook, there are some additional clarifying rules, as well as on page 23, there is a rules reference guide that includes things like ability types, requirements, ability terminology, and definitions. And finally, on page 27, there is a World in Darkness variant that is used only for cooperative veteran heroes. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. We have a previous Shadows of Kilforth gameplay that we filmed, so be sure to check that out. And we've got lots of other great stuff coming up, including how to play Dungeon Universalis Part 4, how to play Kingdom Death Monster Gambler Chess Expansion Part 5, and until next time, if you're bored online, bored offline.